Well, hey everybody, I'm Eddie Provident. This is DK Pittsburgh Sports. You're watching Steelers Today. With me, as always, is Dale Lolley. No, I'm not Dale Lolley, and I'm here to help you because you're terrible at this. This show is brought to you by BetQL, the only app that you're going to need to get a jump on your sports book and get the advantage that you want for your betting. But what is going on right now? They scan over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you a best bet advantage over all of your bets for all major sports. Hey, and you know what else it does? It covers everything. Baseball, football, hockey, every single sport, every single bet that you can think of. You don't need your phone for this one. Their algorithms look at everything, historical data, weather, matchups, performance, anything that you can think of, their algorithms cover it. Go to try.betql.co/DKPS to get started now, or if you just download the BetQL app, you make your life easier. Use the discount code DKPS at checkout. Right now, if you use DKPS at checkout, you get 25% off any subscription, and if you use the BetMGM offer, you get $200 towards any wager, whether it wins or loses. BetQL's algorithm went 13-2 on 5-star bets in week 1 of the NFL season between Thursday and Sunday. So make sure that you take advantage of BetQL now. All of the information is in the description below. Check out the link try.betql.co/DKPS. All right, well, everybody, welcome to another episode of Steelers Today on DK Pittsburgh Sports. I'm Eddie Provident. With me, as always, is Dale Lolley. We're here after the Mike Tomlin press conference, Dale, and we finally got some, I would say, some good news over some injuries.
Yeah, it looks like the Steelers will be back as close to full strength as they can be without some of the guys that that are on IR right now. Mike Tomlin saying that guys like Zach Banner, Stephon Tuitt, Anthony McFarland they're all eligible to come off IR this week. Mm-hmm. He said they're all getting close. We'll see about that. I do know McFarland's probably a little bit closer than the other guys. But even if they're activated, that just means they'll start practicing. That means they have a 21-day window with which to work with there before they're activated or placed on the active roster or put on season-ending IR. Okay. In terms of the other guys, T.J. Watt going to practice on Wednesday. Good. Alex Highsmith going to practice on Wednesday. Who was the other guy? JuJu Smith-Schuster will practice Diontae Johnson at some point this week, and Diontae Johnson also scheduled to practice on Wednesday.
So let's look back at this Bengals game. As hard as it is to look back at this Bengals game, how much of this performance do you think was due to injuries, and then how much of this performance do you think was due to just this not being a good football team right now?
They're just not in a good place right now. Whether that's because of injuries, you can make all the excuses that you want, but they're not playing very well. We knew going into this season that the offense was going to be a work in progress. Right. That's not a surprise to anyone, at least nobody that's been paying attention. The defense being down some guys certainly affects the way that they want to play football. They wanted to allow the defense to kind of carry the load while the offense found its footing. All of a sudden, you're missing a bunch of guys on that defense, and now the offense isn't capable right now at this point of kind of picking up the slack. That being said, they still didn't play well. No. You can't have the penalties that you had. You can't have the turnovers that you had and win football games. That's just the long and short of it.
Yeah, and Tomlin said as much about the penalties that it wasn't so much that they couldn't get that they weren't getting the running game rolling, because Najee Harris had a couple of 10, 15-yard runs, but all of them got called back on, as he called them, legitimate holding calls.
And that was, if you read my preview on DK Pittsburgh Sports, I made mention that officiating crew calls holding penalties a lot. They had 8 holding penalties called in the first 2 games. They then called 7 on the Steelers and Bengals, 2 teams that had a combined 1 holding penalty in their first 2 games. Mm-hmm. Certain officiating crews look for certain things. Something that you got away with in the previous game, you might not get away with. They're looking for it. Right. And so you have to be cognizant of that as a player. I'm sure the coaching staff, they make note of those things when they talk to the players. But they still can't happen. And it's not just the holding penalties. It was false starts. It was illegal blocks downfield. Again, those are things that you don't see always. The illegal blocks downfield or offensive pass interference, as it were, you don't see that called a lot. But we saw it called twice in that game, both on Chase Claypool. Just things like that. You have to be aware of who the officiating crew is, and what they like to call.
It's part of the prep.
It's part of your game prep. Yeah.
And I see a lot on Twitter. I see a lot in our comment sections on the website and in the videos. People just kind of like rhetorically asking, how did this team beat Buffalo? Well, when you have a bunch of penalties like we did in the last two, or like the Steelers did in the last 2 weeks, when you have 5-6 guys out at different points on defense and on offense, they were healthy against Buffalo. They didn't have a lot of offensive line penalties against Buffalo. That's how they won. Exactly.
They're capable of playing like that. So they're capable of beating a lot of good football teams. They're capable of losing, as we've seen, to anybody. That's just the reality of the situation right now, and that's the reality of the NFL right now. The Baltimore Ravens are 2 plays away from being 0-3.
Yeah.
And are they a good football team because they're 2-1? Or are they that much better than the Steelers?
Still early in the season.
So.
Yeah, it's still we don't know yet, and that's the thing. It's still early. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll start to look ahead towards the Green Bay Packers. This is DK Pittsburgh Sports. You're watching Steelers Today. All right, welcome back to Steelers Today. This is DK Pittsburgh Sports. I'm Eddie Provident. With me, as always, is Dale Lolley. Dale, we just kind of want to throw this Bengals game. I'm sure the Steelers want to throw this Bengals game in the trash. There's things to learn from.
Yeah, put it on tape.
Yeah, there's things to learn from, as always. But now we're looking at facing Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams and Aaron Jones with hopefully a healthy defense. As you said, as Tomlin alluded to, everyone's going to be practicing. What are some of the matchups that you're looking forward to seeing coming this Sunday against Green Bay?
Well, I want to see how they attack, as Tomlin said, minimizing what Davante Adams does. It very much like shutting down or minimizing what Stephon Diggs does. Adams is a bigger, more physical receiver, though, where Diggs is more of the route runner. And Rodgers will throw the ball to him in very tight windows. So, you could have perfect coverage on him, and it still turns into something. To me, the key is going to be the Packers at left tackle or on their third starting left tackle. So can the Steelers exploit that to some degree and get after Aaron Rodgers? We'll see. The Packers really don't throw the ball to anybody else. I think I made note the other day it was like 19 pass attempts to Davante Adams, and the next closest guy had 4. So, we know
the offense, yeah.
But you also know with Rodgers that it only takes one shot with Marquez Valdez-Scantling or something like that to turn into a touchdown.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be an interesting matchup. It's in Green Bay. I've been to Lambeau Field multiple times. It's a great venue for football. The fans will be loud. It's going to be, it's one of the great stadiums in the NFL. And, this should be a very good matchup. A great offense against a great defense, presuming they have everybody back. And then on the other side of it, a struggling offense against, quite frankly, what's a struggling defense.
Right. One of the things, you spoke about the struggling offense and defense, but one of the things that I wanted to talk about real quick before we wrap up is the situational football that Mike Tomlin talked about. Against the Raiders, the Steelers had, on 3rd and 10, late in the game, led up the big touchdown to Ruggs. And then this past Sunday, they let up on a 2-minute drill, 2-minute offense, they let up the deep ball to Jamar Chase. We saw what Aaron Rodgers can do, and we all know what Aaron Rodgers can do in situational football, in those late drives, those 2-minute drives, those third down plays. What do you think the game plan needs to be for the Steelers to mitigate that and to stop him from having one of those big splash plays that they've given up twice already this year?
Let me think. Who wasn't on the field for both of those plays when they were allowed? TJ Watt.
TJ Watt.
You think TJ Watt's going to be a little fired up to go back to Wisconsin and have a big game? Yeah. He makes that much of a difference. That's why you pay him all the money that you pay him, because if you get the pass rush, they don't have time to throw those passes. Yep. On the long pass to Ruggs against the Raiders, they had Trey Norwood blitzing on that play, and right before he gets to Derek Carr, he kind of pulls up a little bit, like he's afraid that Carr is going to somehow jump outside of him. You got to know who you're playing against. TJ Watt, I'm sorry, he changes games.
He's a difference maker.
He's a difference maker. That's why you pay him that money. So, if they want to try to take shots, fantastic. If I'm the Steelers, I say, have at it, because our pass rush is going to get there.
Yeah, and one other thing about the Ruggs play that if you watch the film, you'll see that Minkah Fitzpatrick, who was supposed to be the safety help on that side of the field, bit on that pump to Darren Waller. I'm not saying that the Packers don't have other weapons to use, but as you said in the first segment, they throw the ball to Davante Adams a lot. You don't have to worry about a Darren Waller. You don't have to worry about that big-time threat because Davante Adams is that guy. So I don't think that I think it's just like you said, it's a different situation. They're healthier. They're just a whole different game. And I think that the Steelers are going to be hungry. They're going to be coming into Lambeau ticked off.
They better be.
Yeah, and I think that this is going to be a completely different situation, a completely different game than we've seen the last 2 weeks. Anything else you got for us?
I have nothing.
Nothing. Well, that was our Tuesday edition of Steelers Today, and don't forget to check out the description below, try.betql.co/DK Pittsburgh or DKPS. If you go to their website, use DKPS at checkout, and you can get 20% off, and there's other offers there. This has been Steelers Today. For Dale Lolley and for DK Pittsburgh Sports, I'm Eddie Provident. Thanks for watching.